Hello, Slicey Dicers. This is Brian with another knife review for you. Today we have the Valiant, the 717D Valiant. Very interesting knife from I like I'm kind of a fan, more and more so every day. But the last review I did was of the Ignition, which I said I liked how they were going towards a more kind of toned down, normal. But this is not toned down and normal. This is a very unique knife. I'm just going to put a size comparison up right here so you guys, because this looks like a big giant knife, but it isn't. This is just a little bulldog bruiser of a knife. This is a Spyderco Para 3 to compare it to. So 3-inch blade, pretty small knife, but has a lot of the features of a big knife. And that's what it took me a minute to kind of grasp a hold of. Initially, when I first got this, I got it on loan from Zelric. Awesome. He's the US Wii representative. Great dude. They're on like a pass around group. Thanks so much for sending this to me, Zell. I really super much appreciate it. But at first, when I took it out, I was like, I don't get this. But I kind of do now. And I'm going to put a little more in the conclusions at the end of this video of why. Some people who I did not expect kind of educated me to it. So 3-inch blades, so legal in a whole lot of places, which is very, very important. Titanium frame lock flipper. Let me get this out of the way now. Usual Wii stuff you'd expect. Super smooth action, great bearings. It's just like I said, it's like a little angry bulldog of a knife, and yeah, it's kind of cool now. I've started to come around to. Not my thing necessarily, but I get why you'd get it, and I'll explain that later. First of all, let's do some specs, just to get this out of the way. An overall length of 7 inches. Again, these are half-inch squares. Blade length, as I said, 3 inches. Cutting edge is a bit less because it's got a pretty good sharpening choil on there. So 2.75 inches of cutting length. You have a blade thickness of 0.16 inch, 0.16 inches. I was right the first time. Pretty thick, stocky blade on this thing, absolutely, for sure. Handle length of, you've got 4 inches, and the width, when it's closed, you're looking at, basically, a little more than 1.5 inches. So, pretty thick in the pocket. We'll definitely be talking about that later. Handle thickness, 0.64 inches, also very thick in the pocket. And the weight, not light, guys. This is, as near as to not matter, 5 ounces for a 3-inch blade knife, which is pretty heavy by modern standards. Absolutely no denying that whatsoever. Let's do some size comparisons. I already put the Para 3 up there. Look at some other knives that are kind of in this category. This is the Steel Will Modus. It's a 3 1/4 inch, but you can see it still makes that look small, even though it's longer. It still makes it look small. What else do we have out here? We have Benchmade Bug Out. Also a little over 3-inch knife. We have, let's grab this one. Haven't used this one for a size comparison in a bit. Spyderco Native 5 lightweight. This is absolutely not lightweight. Similar length, but I don't know if the camera is actually... I'm looking in the screen of the camera. It is not accurately depicting how much larger this actually looks than that. Another 3-inch knife. We have the Ontario Wrap Model 2. Yep, it's bigger than that. And for consistency's sake, we will do the Chris Reeve Large Sabenza, which, moved around, but I think there's more material in this than there is in the Sabenza. And last but not least, one we almost always include, Spyderco Paramilitary 2. So it's a big little knife, absolutely, for sure. Let's talk about quality. A lot of my general feelings in this is going to be in the conclusion. So normally you kind of know my opinion before you get there, but wait till the conclusion. My opinions evolved over the last few days of playing with this. So quality and aesthetics, it's a WE. It's very well made. I really like the way it's made. I have no complaints whatsoever. It's got these nice carbon fiber inserts, full titanium construction. They're titanium, stupid fucking star screws. But there's only 2 of them on this. It's got a very unique way to take it apart. I guess this is a good time to talk about that. I did not take this apart because, again, it's on a pass around. I put the little star screw tool on the pivot screw, started to turn it, could tell it was really tight, and I said, you know what, I'm not gonna excuse me, I'm not gonna bother with that. So I will link to Zell's video where he completely tore one apart, and you can see how it works. It's very unique. The only screws that hold it together are this star screw, and then on the end here you've got one, and then the whole thing just kind of falls apart. It is almost kind of an integral construction. Not quite, obviously, because it does come apart in the middle, but yeah, it looks like an integral. It's pretty cool. I love the pocket clips, very nicely done, machined titanium. This carbon fiber is really, really nice. You know, all the edges are great. The action is fantastic, but it's what you expect from a high-end WE. And this is a high-end WE. This is about $250, so this is not a cheap knife by any means whatsoever. But it's built like a $250 knife. It's very, very nice. The blade, we're looking at S35 VN. If you can see that on there, it's very small written, but it's not a bad slicer. It is a very thick blade stock, so it's not as good as you'd think for having such a tall, flat grind. Just because the stock is so thick, I think that could be kind of thinned down. That's probably my biggest concern or biggest critique of this knife, is I just wish it was a little thinner overall. If it was thinner overall, it would be something I might maybe consider having, but this thickness, I don't think so. But it slices well. It's not horrible, but it's not good. It does have a very robust tip, obviously. That's an upshot to that. These nice cool swedges. You can definitely do some penetration with this, and you're not going to worry about breaking the tip or anything. Very cool little style stuff on here too. I didn't mention in the aesthetics part. Yeah, that's I like that. That looks kind of Tron-y. Obviously not on the other side because you got other stuff going on, but yeah. The blade's pretty cool. It's not the best, but it's not the worst. I do like, this is the Stonewash version. They do make it with a DLC coated blade if you're into that. And they also make it in other colors. This is the blue, which has a slight purplish hue to it, which I think the camera is actually picking up very well right now. They do make it in a pure purple. They make it in a green, I believe, and a gray. And I said again with the DLC, where this is stonewashed, it would be DLC, and then these machine things are always, the machine surfaces are always silver. So yeah, I do like that. Ergonomically too, it's not bad in the hand. It's a little short for my hands. Again, I have large size hands but skinny fingers. If you've got large size hands and normal width fingers, it may feel a bit short to you, but it's not awful. And I like the jimp. There's no hot spots or anything. I like the jimping up here. That is great. It is really good for that. I used it for some kind of fine detail-y stuff, and it was really good for that. I do have to say that. And yeah, the ergonomics are fine. It's not uncomfortable in any way. This carbon gives you a really good grip. That's fine. In the carry, I have to say, for a 3-inch blade, it is not fine. That's by far my biggest thing I don't like about this. It is just, it's heavy for a blade this size. The width is very large, and the pocket clip carries deep enough. I guess that's a good thing to say. But other than that, I mean, this is a 3-inch knife, and when I put it in my pocket and tried to put anything else in that pocket, forget about it. This is all that's going to be in that pocket. If you're putting in like a front jeans pocket, you can't access the rest of the pocket. It's just thick and fat, and it's hard to get your finger by. And if you want to just pile on, the flipper sticks out a fair bit too. So not a great carry knife in my experience. I did not find it a pleasurable experience to carry. I mean, it carried fine, but I had to just accept the fact that nothing else was going to go in that pocket. Now, if for instance, I feel that same way about this, one of my favorites, the Spyderco Manix 2XL, but I'm getting that much more knife, so it doesn't bother me. I just accept that fact. Where this is a much smaller knife, and I still have to try and accept that fact, which is kind of annoying to me. Deployment, though, is outstanding. It's one of the standouts of this knife. I've only had in my hands a couple of other of these higher end Wiis. I've had several Wiis, but not many in that over, $200 range. But this one is the best just because, I hope this comes across in camera. Just listen to this. Just the noise it makes is very pleasurable. Listen. That is just the most mechanical click. I just really like it. And listen to when it closes. It just makes this very satisfying, very precise sounding mechanical click sound that is just, it's just so satisfying. That noise. I'm thinking maybe it is worth the 250. Maybe it's worth the 250 just for that noise. I don't know if it's the compressed denseness of it that makes it sound so good, but it sounds so good. And it works great too. It's not just the sound. It's very smooth. Again, I didn't take this apart. I did nothing to it. Yeah, I really like the deployment on it. That is very fun. I will admit that. It's very fun. So what is my overall conclusion on this? At first, I admit, I thought it was dumb. I was like, what is this thing? It's thick, it's big, it's heavy, it's only 3-inch blade. What the hell? But then I thought, and I showed it to my wife, and she picked it up and thought, well, it's big and heavy, and she doesn't know anything about knives. She thought, she rarely even touches my knives. This one, she actually handed it to her, and she actually played with it. She goes, oh, it's kind of nice to play with, but it is, and then I told her what it cost, and she kind of freaked out. But then I explained, well, there are knife laws, I guess, where you have to carry something 3 inches or smaller. And she goes, oh, well, what if you live in a place that has that law and you want something weird and crazy like this? And she's right. I mean, that's absolutely the purpose of this knife. If you live in a place where you have a 3-inch blade length law and you still want a crazy Wii, not many, or a knife like a Wii, or just a crazy, tie flipper, not many companies are helping you out. And I think that's the purpose of this knife. The 250 it sounds insane, but that's what the bigger Wii flippers cost, the bigger higher end Wii flippers cost, and this is built just as well. It has all the features that those do. It's just in a legal size that you can carry. So I guess I do get it now. I do get it. If you live in a place where you have to carry a 3-inch or less blade and you want something nuts, there's not many people that are catering to you. I get it. And this would be a great choice for that. I would probably pick it in the gray. I'm not super fan of this bluish, whatever, slightly purplish hue. I'd either probably get the gray or go full balls out nuts and get the purple one. But yeah, it's well built. Absolutely. It's ergonomically fine. The flipping action is outstanding. The price is in line with other knives like this. So, yeah, it's just the design is a bit odd for me. I don't need to have that. My particular city does not have that law yet. Knock on everything wood around me. But, yeah, I like it. I understand it, I guess. I'm not in love with it, but I understand it. And if I was around somebody and they pulled one out and they showed they had one, I wouldn't think they were stupid. It's pretty cool, and it is a Wii. It comes with all that cool stuff. I don't have it out in front of me. I actually moved it away because I'm unprepared. But it comes in the whole zipper pouch with the nice Rolls-Royce floor mats inside of it, and cloth and all that stuff, and the tool to work on it. And the way it comes apart is pretty cool. I mean, I didn't do it. I hate the King star screws, but this one only requires 2 to take the whole thing down, and if you watch Zell's video, it's pretty cool the way it comes apart. So yeah, I'm all right with it. It's fine. It's not my thing, but it's not designed for me. It's designed for a specific market, and I get it now. The Wii 717 Valiant, pretty cool in its own special way. Hope you guys have enjoyed this. I've been Brian.